Welcome back, everybody. The Grand Tactician, the Civil War. Grandpa Gaming. It's episode 50 of our review only Summer 61 campaign. So, the last episode was immensely long. I realized at this point I really should have chopped that episode into two because the 4-hour episode is a bit long, but I got so involved in that episode because we were getting so much done. The last episode, I just couldn't stop myself. So, I didn't realize it was going to be 4 because I was just having a lot of fun shooting that episode. When I put it all together, I didn't realize it was going to be 4 hours long by the time I put it all together. So, should have split it in half. I don't think we're not going to get a 4-hour episode today out of this one, but we're not doing that again because it does. How many people have the time to sit down and watch a 4-hour long movie, let alone a 4-hour long episode of a video game? So, even the 2-hour episodes, I do push it, but I think that's the shortest I can make them on a weekly release schedule. All right, like I said, last month was very busy. We had a lot happening. We had Battle at Rapidan Bridge, a Battle at Carrollton, Battle at Richmond, another Battle at Carrollton, a Battle at Newmarket, Battle at Gordonsville, Battle at Shelbyville, and another Battle at Richmond. So last month was hectic, but we got a lot done. We have really pared down the rebel armies in those actions. So, going from east to west. So, currently the Grunts are sitting in Richmond after fighting the Battle of Gordonsville against this Nada Corps here. They had to come all the way back to Richmond and fight Randolph's Corps, which amazingly retreated to Gordonsville, where we just won the fight. So they're sitting in the red right now. They're probably not going to be ready to move this month or in this episode. We may get lucky. We may get them on the move. I don't know. I would like them on the move. Army East is now sitting at Newmarket. They are now in the yellow readiness, so which for me at this point is enough to get them to move. So we're going to move them down to Stanton, see what their readiness looks like after that, and then see if we can't push them into this Nada Corps here and finally get these guys pushed out of Virginia. Start opening up some maneuver on the map. The Engineer Corps, which did finally seize Fort Norfolk and the city of Norfolk, is now down in Raleigh, North Carolina. The problem is their morale is panicked because they are out of supply. So even though they're ready to go fully in the green, we have to wait for the supply depot to build and wait for some supplies to get into the Engineer Corps before we move them again. And their next target is going to be Charlotte. It's either Charlotte or Wilmington. Actually, I might move them to Wilmington so they can siege down the fort there. Actually, that might be what I do once they're full on supply. I might just move them to Wilmington. There is a rebel corps sitting here with 2,900 men, so I'm not overly worried about it. Plus, we still have these Hardy's Corps stuck in the valley. They're down to 3,800 men, and there's another corps with it. Yeah, Hardy and Army Command, Army of Eastern Tennessee with 2,200 men. So there's around 5,000 men sitting in the Appalachia Valley, which we're not worried about. Army of Alabama, which is an Army Command, has been on the move. Don't know what they're up to. McGowan's Corps has retaken Chattanooga, and it looks like they might be hanging out here in the mountains of the Appalachia Valley. I'm not sure what they're up to either. Our intelligence on them is not too accurate. It says they have 9,000 men, but they could have more, they could have less. Actually, they haven't even fully flipped Chattanooga yet, so they're still hanging out down there. Just shows them hanging up in the woods here, but they are definitely down in the city seizing it. So they haven't fully flipped that back into their control yet. The Army of the Ohio, which was down in Georgia, we ended up railing all the way up to Indianapolis to retake that from Anderson's Corps. Oh, they are the rebels have got troops transferring all over the place right now. They just do not know what to do. We got so many units, so many corps on the move in different areas and just left and right hooking them that the AI keeps transferring troops around to its detriment. So Anderson's now going to be going up to 15,000 men, but that's really not going to help him against a corps of 20,000. But we are going to chase them down. The Army of the Ohio is orange rain. It's getting ready to move into the yellow. As soon as they are in the yellow, I'm going to start pushing them down towards Knoxville through the Cumberland Gap. Or possibly, you know what, we still control it. Morale's confident. Readiness is the orange. You know what? Oh, no movement through hostile terrain. It's our terrain. It's all blue. Unless they're counting this here, because I wanted to move them by rail into Chattanooga. So that doesn't look like it's happening. So we are going to move them by rail into Louisville right now. Actually, now that I got them on rail movement, can I get into Chattanooga? No, it won't let me. Okay. Moving by rail to Louisville right now to secure against these corps. We finally did take the nuclear option on our army that was in the south end of the Appalachian Valley. I can't remember what the name of this army was now. But, because they were stuck at Chattanooga. Not at Chattanooga. They were stuck here at Kingston. Stuck on the river and just unable to move whatsoever. So, river move, rail move, road route, nothing. Even when an army attacked them and I hit the withdrawal button, they were still stuck in place. So, we did take the nuclear option. They are now reforming in Minnesota. One brigade's actually already arrived. The 6th Royal Australians, they are looking to get back in a fight. The Nola Chuckies will be there in one more day, but it looks like everybody else is about 16 days away. Everybody else is 16 days away. We do have the 1 brigade in place. They are in the green. I don't want them stuck up here for too long. So we are going to rail them right down to Cairo, and then they're going to move against Corinth. So I think it's the only city in Mississippi I do not control. So we're going to move them down to Cairo and get them ready to move against Corinth. Army of Tennessee, still outside of Carrollton. We did seize the rebel depot, so we are getting our supplies back up. We're in yellow readiness. I want to move against Fort Smith, but the garrison at Fort Smith, we lost sight of all the rebel corps in this area. We do not see them. I have no intelligence on them whatsoever. So I do believe they are around Fort Smith, and I think they transferred some of them in because we're showing a garrison of 7,000 men inside of Fort Smith, which you never see. So I think they ended up transferring some of the corps into that fort. So against my better judgment, just to lock up those 7,000 men, I think I am going to try and besiege the fort, but we're just going to wait until we're full up on ammo and provisions. Provisions is really the big one. We're at 47% provisions, so I want my provisions all the way up before we try to make a move against that. I just might move against Little Rock first, but I want to keep the supply depot at my back. So we're coming out from Little Rock direction. I don't know how close we're going to get a supply depot. I know at least from Fayettville we can be supplied. From Little Rock, I don't know if we can get supply. Finally, the Cavalry Corps is down in Indianola and flipping that over to our control. Hopefully we'll have it in the next few days. As soon as that is done, they'll be moving against Galveston and then Beaumont, and then Texas will be under our control. Like I said, we did a lot. I mean, Virginia didn't move much, but we really put a beating down on all the rebels in the A.O. Basically all over the map, all the rebels took a pretty good drubbing. And like I said, the rebels are transferring troops around to their detriment. We were able to do those drubbings because the rebels were transferring those troops. None of them were available to fight, which helped us out immensely. So there was a lot of soldiers that were just not in the field because they're being shuffled around the map. All right, I think that covers everything for the recap. So it's June 1st. Time to head into the monthlies. All right, so current rating of our nation is A-, which is very good. I figure it would be a little better by now. Our debt remained unchanged. We didn't cut any bonds. We didn't pay off any bonds. Current economy cycle is contraction. Both of our population is below average and increasing compared to the previous month. And it says our tax revenues increased by $710 million. That $710 million is what we brought in. The wording on this has always been off. We didn't construct any buildings in the last month. Total export volumes was 1.2 out, with 1.2 coming in, so we're even on the import-export trade. And average core production over the last 3 months was 481 million, a change of plus 111,000 compared to the previous month. And we're still lacking iron, coffee, and flour. The lack of iron and coffee, iron, wood, and flour really makes no sense to me because we have a ton of wood mills, iron. We haven't been building anything. that takes up all those resources. So I don't really understand the shortages. If we look at the finances, we now have a total expenditures are now $557 million. We're bringing in a surplus. On top of that expenditure, we have a surplus of $137 million. So we should start seeing ourselves pay off some bonds soon, hopefully. Administration's at $150 million. Subsidies are $98. Building maintenance is at $65 million. Army upkeep's at $119 million, which I'm surprised is so high considering how few forces we actually do have in the field. We do not have that much in the field. So I can only imagine how much the rebels are paying monthly for their forces because they dwarf us in numbers, or they did dwarf us in numbers. I don't think that's the case anymore. Going over to intelligence. All right, the rebels are currently still working on the Third Conscription Act, so they are desperate for people right now. Relations with Great Britain and France, I'm no longer worried about. It did go up from 48% to 49%. I wonder where they got that 1% increase from. And the morale of Confederate armies is currently at 44%. That is how much of a beating we've laid down on the rebels. They're down to 44% on their morale. All right, policies. We are still currently working on Military 3. That's going to take another 70 days to complete. As soon as that's done, we'll be heading over to Bank Act 1. And we still can't work on... Oh, I totally skipped the strategy screen. Still cannot work on Emancipation because McClellan is still in charge of the army. So under my game rules, I can't even plug that one in. But coming back to here, I totally skipped this screen. National morale, we're at 72 to their 38. National support, on the other hand, is way different. We're at 56 to their 73 because once again, we do control so much of their territory. That's what brings that number down. Morale of the armies, we're at 62 morale to their 43 morale. We're at 62 because we have a lot of like the engineers and the independent cavalry corps really deep striking right now. So that really drags down morale. Men in the field, we have 100,428 in the field. That should be higher, but I don't think it's counting my troops that are transferring to the fresh army. Because we didn't take that many losses in the last month. So I don't think it's counting the troops that are in transfer right now to Minnesota. And the rebels have 118,428 in the field. Navy tonnage-wise, the rebels are now double our tonnage. And there's really nothing I'm going to do about that. Under the game rules I had in place, there's just nothing I can do to help with that unless I sink a bunch of their stuff. But they do have a lot of ironclads in the water right now, so that's just not going to be an option. Battles won. We're at 116 battles to their 20. So I'm wondering how they have more military experience than we do. Total casualties, we're sitting at 91,897 to their 244,025. We are laying them low. European relations we don't care about. Trade warfare I don't really care about. And economy, I don't understand how they have a higher ranked economy than ours, but they do. Probably because they do have a blockade going up here at Long Island Sound, which I just can't do anything about because that's an ironclad fleet. The James River Squadron has 157 guns on 20 ships. There's no way I'm taking that on. Sadly, not with the ships that I have in play. All right, went through policies, so projects. What do we have available? Do I want to take suppressed population? I don't think so. Need occupation administration, so that's going to take a little more subsidy funding. We're $2,000 short or $200,000 short of getting that funding, so we'll hold off for that one. And we're going to unlock... just for shits and giggles, we're going to unlock repeating rifles. Let's take a look at that real fast. What weapons did that unlock for us? Okay, unlock the Henrys, dispensers, which is going to take forever to produce these things. But we have the money, so I'm going to order a division. It's going to take 457 days for 10,000 of these. We're going to order it just to see if we can't get somebody outfitted, at least one brigade outfitted with those. We're just going to see if it happens. Okay, we got 3,000 sharps. I have enough to do another brigade. Finally. Finally. So it's 397 days on this order. So this is a fresh order I have up there. Okay. All right, I think that covers everything. So, longer intro, a little bit longer monthly, but let's get back into things. All right, it's now June 6th, and we do have our first combat of the month, and is the Army of the East going up against the Department of Western Florida, Department of Richmond, and Jenkins Corps Army of Alabama. Actually, once the Army of the East came into this region here, where the Rebel Corps knotted up, they all started retreating in front of them. It seems like only the Department of Western Florida, leave it up to the Florida men, were actually ready to put up a fight. And it's dragging two of the Corps that were retreating into the fight with us, which I do love. And they don't have that many men. Between the three Corps, they have 11,242 infantry, 1,300 cavalry, and 52 guns. So we're going in with 13,990 infantry, 1,320 cavalry, and 26 guns. So even on in numbers outside of the artillery. Let's see if we can't finally kick these boys out of Virginia. Welcome, my grunts, to the Battle of Charlottesville, Virginia. We are actually on the Appomattox Courthouse map, so there's only one place you can get this, and this is around Charlottesville, and Appomattox is it's right there. So, it actually is a meeting engagement, which is very surprising. I don't know how far forward the rebels are deployed. They're only coming in from the one location, that's the Patterson House. And we're pretty far. They're closer to the meeting point, which is just north of Appomattox Courthouse at the Connor Farm, than we are. But we're going to try and beat them there. So I'm going to be sending the cavalry out ahead, galloping the entire way there. Try and get up positions, if we can, on this hillside here, because this is a beautiful rolling hillside here. This is some beautiful terrain. So if I can get my cavalry up here and hold this high ground from the rebels, which will be stuck down here in the low ground, replaced by an infantry division, which will be the Celtics following up on them, followed by the artillery, the engineers, and then the other two infantry divisions. Between the cavalry and the one division of infantry, we should have more than enough to take the job. But we'll see. Like I said, they do outnumber us, but they're coming in 3 corps, which means they are not going to play, and there's no army commander on the field. That's key. They have 3 corps with 3 different roosters. There's no army commander on the field to coordinate all 3 of them. So that's a boon to us. And they are all 3 on the field, it looks like. Yep. So let's see who wins the race over to the Connor house. All right, it's now 15 after 2, or 14:15, and we do have Rebel Cavalry side. We did win the race up to the hill with our cavalry. Our infantry is still behind, but not too far. For some reason, I don't know why, they keep marching off the road and into the trees, which is slowing down their march. They should at least be up to here by now. So cavalry's going to be waiting on them a while. I'm hoping the line of march doesn't get so screwed up that the artillery bypasses them, because then it'll really delay my infantry arrival. And who are we looking at here? First Florida of the Department of Western Florida. I gotta start ordering the rest of my infantry to move. Come on, boys, you know you want to ride in the rifle range on us. Oh, yeah, and their infantry's a lot closer than ours is. At least we hold the high ground. Almost got a Seminary Ridge fight developing here, actually. I 'Cause 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 ' And it looks like that rebel cavalry might be stuck on the stream. I think movement on this map's a little messed up. They got orders on their way. Maybe getting told to halt. My engineer's bypassing everybody. Yeah. I don't know why, but these guys, every crossroad, they seem to go off-road, which is really messing things up. Yep, and the artillery did the same thing over here. At this crossroad, everybody just kind of went off into the trees here. I don't know why it's doing that. The engineers didn't do that. Everybody else has so far. What were those orders you received? You're still on the move. Almost getting tired of waiting for him. Boys, just a little closer. Your dispatch rider's coming up.
We'll get through this, girl.
There we go. Finally. These guys are just riding into it. $300 men, only 100 already cut down. They're still coming. That says 250, 100 cut down. Intelligence numbers keep changing. Now, they're a one-star brigade. With casualties like that, they should be on the run already. There they go. That took longer than it should have. Got here. Florida militia at 650 men coming up the road, but it looks like it'll be a while before they get here. All right, it's now 1500. Fighting hasn't started yet, but it looks like I might have a flank issue here. As the 14th of Virginia of Jenkins Corps arrived on my right flank, I didn't catch this initially, but the rebels do also have an entry point here. So my two cavalry brigades, and it looks like the engineers are like marching massively faster than the rest of my infantry are going up against somebody over here. So I'm going to shift. Now I got to keep these guys marching past. Nah, the artillery's going to be vulnerable if I do that. Engineers, you're going to keep going to support the cavalry. Blue runs. Change of orders. I don't want, that's kind of low groundish. Want you boys coming here now. So it looks like this corps is arriving on our right flank. Yep, I kind of see dust trails out here, I think. Hear more cavalry over here. I feel like I should just use the one brigade for this, but the artillery's using the same road, and I don't need them, so I got to leave this covered. Come on, guys. Pull your heads out. Let's go. Looks like they're cutting cross country towards my cavalry. A lot of militia still has not arrived within rifle range yet or carbine range. Stay close enough to the OBJ to take it. What else we got here? Florida Home Guard. Where's my artillery? Only back here still with the infantry catching back up because these two batteries seem to like to stay on top of each other and jockey for position. Boys lying down, right? Yeah.
Save your water for when the shooting starts.
We got here Florida Engineer Battalion. So I think that's the entirety of Jenkins' Corps, Florida Corps. Maybe an artillery battery or two.
Check your weapon.
Let's get you guys off the road.
Sarge, I'm scared. Stay down, boys.
All right, get ready to greet them, boys. Shit. Move one brigade up this way. I don't even think they're actually trying to get my flank. I think they're just kind of marching straight cross country to get to the objective. Judging by these dust trails, are all kind of all over the place out there. All right, greet them, boys. Reynolds has his boys moving fast. He wants into this. He's wounded. Reynolds. Man, are Ross's Raiders. Militia would have heavy casualties to this speed. I think I just lost sight of Florida home. I see some standing, some laying down. I don't know what the hell's going on there. Drive that battery right into our face. But not close enough to canister. It looks like power rifles. Department of Richmond, Police Brigade, CSMC, 250 men. There goes that battery. Why are you guys marching in battle line? You're not getting up this hill, damn it. Guys are firing, but we can't see them. When I push forward, get them in view. Most of the fire is concentrated on the cavalry, so the engineers are taking next to no casualties this beautiful day. How the hell is a Gauley artillery moving faster than the woods and my artillery is coming down the road? Explain that. How do we still not see them? There's nobody there, and that's just smoking and havoc on us. Then again, that brigade just disappeared from sight. Yeah, there's somebody there shooting. So maybe somebody there could be a glitch. All right, Scots, take down that cavalry. Here comes some more of the infantry. They got ahead of the artillery. Of course they did. Hey, you are there. Oh, come on, that's BS. There's no way we don't see these guys. Fire through them at the other brigade. They'll take the casualties. There they are. How the hell did we not see them in front of us? That's BS. We're literally standing on top of them. But that sort of pulls us back. Got here 46th Virginia and Sam Woods. More fighting in town, boys. Keep marching through. Can't see these boys. That's ripping us up. Goes to 46th Virginia. Just got the double, boys. Get the hell through town. I need you at the ridge. Hell's goddamn artillery. Getting bypassed by the other infantry division. Of course it is. Scots, go get rid of that cavalry. Keep falling back. What the hell are you boys doing? batteries moving through here that we can grab up. Cavalry's retreating in front of us. That's going to leave their artillery open for us to grab. And you're firing at us from all the way back here, of course you are. Looks like we saw Woods off. The Orleans Guard. I think the boys should change your name. You don't hold the city anymore. And Brandenburg's broke. Honestly, if I send the skirmishers out to grab some guns, they might get them up the hill before my damn main artillery arrives. That's a fresh battalion of artillery. And the cavalry's doing nothing to support them. Just keep falling back in front of us. So these guys got brass guns, too. How the hell did they get 257 losses already? And they're glitched. All right, Whiskey's give it to him. Get up here, boys. All right, keep on that cavalry. Guys getting cover from. And we just crossed into a major victory. All right, boys, time to push it into them. They are withdrawing. You gotta go. What the hell are those orders? Doesn't look like we're gonna force any surrenders in this one. Took too long to get the infantry up. Let's just speed this along. We're not going to catch anybody. Oh, that could have gone so much better than it did. My line of march from the outset got completely screwed up. As I pointed out earlier, for some reason my divisions were marching off the road into the woods instead of staying on the damn road. That delay did really cost us. All right, so we took down 2,500 of their 11,000 infantry, 350 of their 1,200 cavalry, got 40 of their 50 guns. Total loss of 3,000 of their 13,000 men. We lost 256 of our 13,986 infantry, 501 of our 1,319 cavalry. That's a big hit to our cavalry, because they were doing all that long-range firing. Plus, literally, we're almost standing on top of them. I couldn't see that one brigade. We were literally about to walk on top of them. Lost one of our 26 guns. Total loss of 765 or 15,663 men. At this point, I think the computer's starting to cheat to try and save the rebels. All right, combat reports. Third Cavalry Division. Ross's Raiders did 346 to infantry, 201 to cavalry, 4 to artillery patrol, 552. Brandenburg Dragoons did 592 to infantry, 22 to artillery patrol, 615. Losses. Ross's Raiders, 40 dead, 180 wounded, 24 missing, patrol 244. Aggregate strength of 289, 46% casualties. Brandenburg Dragoons, 47 dead, 181 wounded, 29 missing, total 257. Aggregate strength 529, 33% casualties. Engineers did 394 to infantry, 11 artillery patrol, 413. Losses: 10 dead, 43 wounded, 13 missing, patrol 66. Aggregate strength 1,297, 5% casualties. Celtic Division, Celtic Division, not the 7th. Blue Runs did 677 infantry, 92 to cavalry, 26 to artillery patrol, 795. Irish Legion did 551 to infantry, 39 to artillery patrol, 590. And the Scots Guards did 59 to cavalry, 44 to artillery patrol, 103. Thought they did a lot more damage to that cavalry brigade, but they just kept retreating in front of them. They did not even stand to put up a fight. Losses: Blue Runs, 5 dead, 37 wounded, 7 missing, total 49. Aggregate strength of 1,009, 5% casualties. Irish Legion, 12 dead, 76 wounded, 13 missing, total 101. Aggregate strength 1,140, 8% casualties. Scots Guards, 2 dead, 7 wounded, 1 missing, total 10. Aggregate strength 1,220, 1% casualties. 7th Infantry, Whiskey Rebels did 69 infantry, 31 artillery patrol, 100, and the Hoosiers and Norwegians did not get into it. Whiskey Rebels, 1 dead, 14 wounded, 4 missing, total 19, accurate strength 1,035, 2% casualties. Hoosiers took 4 dead, 6 wounded, and 1 missing from that long-range rifle fire. Accurate strength 1,607, 1% casualties. And the 8th Infantry and the 4th did not get anything in. So the 44th Artillery looks like it took some counter battery fire or long-range rifle fire. It took 8 casualties. That's how we lost the 1 gun. That's 1 back off the field. I'm going to close out of here, and I'll see you all at the newspaper screen. Glorious victory at Charlottesville, Virginia, not Charlottesville, North Carolina. Battle of Charlottesville is ended with the Department of Richmond retreating in panic. Enemies reported suffered total casualties of 3,023 men. There were 393 killed, 674 captured. Our casualties total 765 men, 125 killed, 93 missing, and the rest are wounded. Captured 1,300 rifles and 15 guns from the field and sent 704 soldiers off to our vacation camps. So, 3,023 men, that's the size of one of those corps. So we basically took out a corps worth of early war. This is a brigade of troops. But right now, that was the size of one of those corps. So we effectively knocked out one of the corps number-wise. And we do have to replace McReynolds. I forgot to check for rebel losses on the officers list, but McReynolds has got to get replaced. You guys are from Kansas. Oh, Jocelyn's back. I didn't see her come back off the unwounded list. But she belongs to the Gotcha Guard, so she cannot go to them. Do we have any professionals? You know what? We'll get Jocelyn back in the war. Kind of the storyline ended a long time ago because nobody really kept up on it. So we'll get Jocelyn back in. So she's going to take over command of Ross's Raiders. That didn't drag us too far into the orange. I thought it was drag us further into the orange readiness-wise. If they retreat up to Randolph, I'm going to be... That's where they're going. They're going up to Randolph. They do not want to retreat these boys out of Virginia. The computer's just like trying not to let that happen. And both saying about the same readiness level now. Where is my new... There you guys are. On our way to Chicago. I had to reroute them because for some reason they weren't using the rail lines out here. I did have to reroute. Now we're looking at Louisville. Slightly in the yellow. There's an army headquarters here, so I'm not worried about it. I lost sight of the corps they had in the region. But we know Anderson's over here. And I want to wait for his readiness to get up higher because we're going to have to march to Somerset. And then march over to Cumberland Gap to get to Knoxville. So I do want to hold off on moving him anytime soon. How are we looking down here in Texas? And Indianola is now officially ours. It is time to move on Galveston. Morale's broken because we have no supplies, but there's no rebels here to stop us, so we're going to keep moving. Actually, let me give them raid orders. They might be able to pick up some supplies while they're raiding. Just when they get to Galveston, I have to turn it off so we actually capture this city. How are we looking? Almost back into green readiness. I'm going to wait until he's full up once again. So I decided against the Little Rock option. We're going to besiege Fort Smith. Because there's no way I can supply him from Little Rock to besiege Fort Smith. We should still draw supply from Fayettville, hopefully, while we besiege Fort Smith. how are we looking over here? Green readiness, we're just waiting on ammo and food now. And for the morale to come back up. They only have 18% morale, so I gotta wait for the morale in this unit to come back up before I do anything with it. Even though they can move, they can't besiege the fort at Wilmington without morale. Alright, it's now June 13th. We do have our next combat here. And is the David's Army of Tennessee going up against Pierce's Corps. I actually was marching down to Fort Smith. And then, right before we got to Fort Smith, I saw Pierce's Corps pop up over here to Lakewood. So as we were marching towards them, you can see here, they kind of moved off into the hinterlands here, trying to get around us. But we didn't manage to catch them. We're bringing 20,480 infantry, 1,218 cavalry, 31 guns to this fight. They're bringing 6,607 infantry, 2,836 cavalry, and 22 guns. They are actually plussing up strength. My reports show them going up to a strength of 18,000, so it's better that we got them now than later. And hopefully this will make them retreat south towards Fort Smith instead of being up on this side of the river. Another bit of news here. Department of Minnesota was trying to cross the river here at Cairo, and the rebels rushed river squadrons with their crossing points, so they are actually forced into a retreat to actually go into New Madrid, which really sucks because there's no river crossing point here. There's no ford here or ferry, so I actually have to march them back up and around. So I was originally having them head for Corinth, but since they're on this side of the river, on the west side of Mississippi now, I'm actually going to have them march on Little Rock and then come back to Memphis. So, bit of an off push from where I wanted them to go, because I did want them at Corinth and then head on to Decatur. But taking Little Rock and then moving back towards Memphis before Corinth is another likely possibility. But besides that, let's jump back in here and see if we can't finally kick Pierce's Corps out of the Carrollton region. Welcome, my grunts, to the Battle of Fayettville, Arkansas. Once again, we're on the Elkhorn Tavern map, Little Sugar Creek. And I guess it was supposed to be a meeting engagement. Really would have been, because both armies were marching at each other, but we were in control of one of the victory points. And the other victory point's right in front of us, the Elkhorn Tavern. I don't know how far forward the rebels are deployed, but we do know they are coming straight down this road, as they only have the one entry point. So they're coming straight down this road here, which is the Study Ford Road. So we're going to get our troops lined up on this ridge side here as much as we can, since they're going to be coming right down that road at them. So very straightforward defense. Just got to rush my troops up there and make sure they're in position, marching up that hill and through the woods before the rebels arrive. All right, it's now it's going on 3 p.m., and we do have rebel cavalry sighted, and it's the 1st Choctaw Chickasaw, and I believe there's another brigade right behind them. And it sounds like a mix of the mounted rifles and infantry coming up the road. We did manage to get at least one brigade ready to go. Everybody else is still marching into position here. But they got to go through us to get to the objectives. So everybody's slowly falling into position. We should have been here faster, to be honest. Now the rebels can see what we're up to. Only the one brigade's ready to fire, and they're the ones that are furthest from the road. Come on, boys, what are you doing? Get in position. It's because the Aros lifeguards are marching through them. Our Keystones stand up. We got to delay them before they stop letting the jerseys get into position. can fire any time now, boys. Thank you. And because these guys were still moving into position, they're automatically shifting. That's fine. Better fronting on the road. You boys are not where I want you. Don't want that. And there goes first Choctaw Chickasaw. Let's try and get these guys positioned a little better. No.
Save your water for when the shooting starts. I'm scared.
Kind of like you where you are. The hell happened to your fronting? You boys lay down. I'm going to keep these two brigades laying down with the arrows standing up. Or the live guards standing up. Whoa! Hey there, guys. Valkyries. They only had the one entry point. They're just using multiple roads. They got there pretty damn quick. Looks like the reserve division is going to be covering on this road. How's Daywood doing? Oh, God, I left the cavalry back there. That's why Daywood's back there.
Don't stop for the keep it.
Forgot to move the cavalry up. It's only the mounted rifle regiments. I'm not worried about them. We got the 1st Seminole off on our left. And the 1st Creek. We got 1st Cherokee coming down this road. So they have really spread out those troops. Let's get you boys a little better online.
Quiet in the ranks. Shoot. Don't aim, just shoot and move. Keep moving. Don't stop to reload.
Oh, you boys actually going to stop? Or you're going to keep riding forward? All right, Liberty Legion's pushing in. Come on, boys, get in position. None of my movement's been going right today, but then again, the same thing was happening last episode, too.
Don't aim, just shoot and move. Fill that gap, brother. Quiet in the ranks. Keep calm, boy.
All 3 brigades should be firing at the same time once these guys hit this line for the lifeguards. we go. Now they're right at the edge of your arc, so you're not firing.
Quiet in the ranks.
Surprised that the detachment's not fleeing. Generally, outriders don't take damage too well. There they go. Infantry's not too far behind. Sending outriders out again, really? We got their second Cherokee. Let's say we should have broken enough of your scouts ready to break this brigade. I have no idea what this brigade's doing. We're just like slowly marching at each other. Who's this coming down the road? First Creek, so they were over here. Looks like they decided to come around this way. I guess they thought they saw an opening when nobody was here, but the Liberties are moving into that position. Live guards, get ready. Pierce is basically just handing us the victory at this point. Just want to hear more firing down here. That's it right away, boys. That's a smart thing to do. Really paring down the Indian regiments. I'm surprised some of them still exist, but we are right on top of the Indian territory, so there is that. Who's that? There's the second Creek. Didn't we see them off already? And they're just riding into us. It's not even dismounting the fight. It's kind of racist, because I know these are rifle-armed regiments. These are regiments that are raised by the a.o.m mod, so they are rifle-armed. They're supposed to be dismounted rifles. Or mounted rifles. They're supposed to be dismounting to fight us, but they're not doing that. Plus, Pierce is trying to throw his core away. I don't know what the hell's going on.
Keep your position, Private. Reload.
I thought your boy's gonna be smart for a second, but he stopped. There they go. I think those are our first casualties from the Valkyries. There's a brigade there we just lost sight of. We got 12th Arkansas. 2,200 man brigade. Wow. That's a fresh brigade.
Move. I'll cover. Don't stop for the wounded. Keep moving. Check your weapons. Evil flame.
Hopefully they march down the road at us like the cavalry came on, and I'll just throw my infantry into their flank. They are pretty spread out, though. But that one brigade's about a quarter of their infantry force. They may end up retreating before their infantry even gets into combat. And there they go, without firing a shot.
Get up on your feet. Move out, soldiers.
And it looks like it'll be a while before we see their infantry. We do not have good sighting here. Let's put you boys right there. Yeah, this house blocks the view.
Gotta be more than a hard time.
Yeah, it'll be a little while still. All right, it's now 1640, and the rebel infantry is very slowly marching into our range of the rifles. Very slowly marching into range. And I'm getting kind of tired of waiting for them. I've almost pushed my infantry forward already, but we're not doing that. Not quite yet. Once this lead brigade finally becomes engaged with us, I'm going to push forward the Bastard Division onto rail lining the road. One brigade just line up along the road, because they're all still spread out along it. And I'm worried about them retreating before we can do any real damage, since they're almost there to a retreat. All right.
Now, men, stop to reload. Don't aim, just shoot. Move. I'll come.
Not worried about anything else coming down this road here, so we're going to concentrate here because this is where the main force is.
Sarge, I'm scared. Don't aim, just shoot.
Catch him in the crossfire, boys. I want to rip this core to shreds as much as possible. Blackbeards, why are you behind Iowa River? You should be ahead of them. That's it. Swing those jaws shut. Push in, boys. That's it. Blackbeards, let's go. And they are retreating already, because we already crossed into a major victory. Holy crap, that was quick. Quick right from the get-go. Let's go, boys. Get out there. Bayonets and buttstocks. Let's go. Get in there, Iowa. East Owens, let's go. Bag me some of these men. I want this core non-existent after this fight. It doesn't look like any of their brigades want to surrender to us this episode. Not too bad. Could have done better. Could have done better. But not too bad. So we took down 1,200 of their 7,500 infantry, 1,200 of their 3,100 cavalry, 15 or 25 guns, so almost 2,500, 11,000 men. We lost 418 of our 20,478 infantry, and that's all of the losses, so... 6.2, 6.3 losses to 1. I'll take that. All right, combat reports. Blue Storms did no fighting. Engineers did no fighting. Liberty Legion, 1st Suffrage did 288 to Cavalry. Lincoln's Valkyries did 415 to Cavalry. Losses were just in the Lincolns, with 1 dead, 8 wounded, 1 missing for a total of 10. Average strength 3,267, 0% casualties. So those mounted riflemen just rode into them without firing. They only got 1 volley off from the 1 brigade, which caused those few casualties that we took. Bastard Division, Blackbeards, 49 infantry, Rocket Chickens, 351 infantry, 70 cavalry for 358. Our River Boys, 167 infantry with 57 captured, 37 artillery with 25 captured for a total of 291. Losses, Blackbeards, 9 dead, 39 wounded, 10 missing, total 58. Aggregate strength 1,280, 4% casualties. Rocket Chickens, 29 dead, 192 wounded, 29 missing for a total 250. Aggregate strength 1,752, 12% casualties. Our River, 3 dead, 46 wounded, 17 missing for a total 66. Aggregate strength 2,237, 3% casualties. 9th Infantry, Arrows Lifeguards, 113 to infantry, 215 to cavalry for a total 328. Keystone Kaisers, 230 to infantry, 25 to cavalry for a total 255. Jersey Devils, 170 to infantry, 204 to cavalry for a total 374. Losses. Lifeguards, no losses. Keystone Kaisers, 3 dead, 24 wounded, 6 missing, a total 33. Aggregate strength 2,710, 1% casualties. Jersey Devils, 1 wounded. So honestly, the division that should have taken the least amount of casualties actually ended up taking the most. Oof. And 5th Artillery, Go Blocks Battery did 16 infantry. Molly Pitchers did 7 infantry. And the Copeland Lumberjacks did 22 infantry, 1 to cavalry for a total of 23. With no losses on the batteries. All right, we didn't lose any officers, and I forgot to check last time. Let's see if we got any of theirs. So we wounded Baylor of the 1st Creek Mounted Rifles, wounded Hughes of the 2nd Creek Mounted Rifles. And that's it, really. Okay. I'll get out here and I'll see you all at the newspaper screen. Glorious victory at Fayettville, Arkansas. Battle of Fayettville is ended with Pierce's corps retreating in panic. The enemy's reported suffered total casualties of 2,544 men. There were 392 killed and 540 captured. Our casualties totaled 418 men, with 45 killed, 63 missing, and the rest wounded. We captured 1,052 rifles and 5 guns from the field and sent 509 soldiers off to our vacation camps. Too bad we didn't bag a brigade. Thing is, though, their national morale did come back up as they recaptured some cities. Especially since we had to reform the one army that left all those cities that we'd taken free for them to retake. So their national morale has come back up to 43. They were down to 38. They're now back up to 43 after retaking those cities. Speaking of, how is the Independent Cavalry Corps? Houston's almost ours. As soon as you have Houston, we move on to Beaumont and then up towards Mobile. Let's get this battle rolled off. And that leaves Daywood in the yellow, so I don't want to go marching off the Indian Territory. This is a supply wasteland out here, but I'm wondering if we should siege down Muskogee. Yeah, you know what? We're going to go siege down Muskogee. It's kind of taking us out of our way. Might lock us out in a bad way, but I want to push Pierce's corps away from us. And I know there's another corps over here by Fort Coffee, but I think taking this will give us these 2 Indian villages here. And hopefully, like I said, push Pierce somewhere out here into a supply wasteland. Let me look in here. You're still on the retreat. Slowly moving through to Cumberland Gap. I'm bypassing Anderson's Corps. I'm just straight up bypassing it. We're heading straight for Knoxville. Because I want to retake these cities that we lost control of. If I have to, I'll come back up towards Louisville, which I think I may have to, but I want to get down into Knoxville. At the least, get into Knoxville. And the Engineer Corps is on its way to Wilmington, where they may have issues because the garrison at this fort is just under 7,000 men. And we're already running out of supplies. Are you kidding me? We're nervous morale. We just had good morale. Now we're at nervous morale. That's great. That's not a good sign for that siege. That may go very poorly for us. And the Army of the East is still in the orange along with the Grunts, but we should get them both moving again soon. If I can follow up with one more attack against these 2 corps here, we should finally have them out. I may be able to move now. We got confident morale, even though we have low readiness. Yeah, let's move on to them now. And the Army of Washington, these are both part of the Army of Washington here, so the Army headquarters keeps trying to get back to them, and we keep forcing them back at Richmond. So we're actually going to get the Grunts on the move. Think down. Can we bring down the Greensboro and then Charlotte? No, we gotta wait for their readiness to come up. I want to move them now, but they're in the best supply region they can be in. But we're going to keep this month rolling, so I'll be back. All right, it's now June 15th. We do have our next combat. It's the Army of the East going up against Randolph's Corps up here at Gordonsville. And it's only Randolph's Corps. The other 2 corps are not ready to fight us. So, he's defending with under 5,000 men and 20... How the hell does he even have 25 cavalry? That unit should not exist. Now, if you remember in the last episode, we basically massacred Randolph's Corps. So I'm surprised he's even trying to fight. So, normally I would take this one... Should I just take this one off screen? Yeah, I'm just going to take this one off screen. I'll come back in with the newspapers. All right, we have a victory at Gordonsville here, but we actually didn't fight. We started out pretty late in the day. And they decided to go with the overnight withdrawal before ever coming in contact with us. We still captured 29 of their men. So let's see if this finally forces them. And just, how the hell do we have got... They have no control of these nodes, but they're still retreating to them. Oh, come on. Well, let's get you up there. The game just does not want to let us get these guys out of Virginia. They got nowhere to retreat to. These corps should be surrendering to us at this point. Whole cloth. Or be disintegrated. And that really drug down his readiness. He wasn't even at the yellow readiness yet when I moved him, but we did drag down his readiness by doing that. Mexico City has fallen, but that war is no concern of ours. How are you retaining control of these nodes when you have nobody nearby? Actually, can we take the city without taking the fort? I think Fort Fisher might be far enough away for us to take the city without having to go for the fort. That would actually be nice. Let's see if we start flipping it before we come into contact with the fort. Oh yeah, and another thing over here. Yep, there they go. They're all fleeing. Be a river. All right, we're going to take Daywood back up to Fayettville, get him back into supply lines. We're not going to bother with the fort now. Readiness has dropped too low. So we officially pushed those corps south of us, at least out west. Looks like we got to take the fort. Looks like Randolph might be stuck in the river. All right, his readiness come back up a little bit more. Then we're going to make another shot at these rebel corps. Grunts are almost ready to move. Kind of leery about taking them out now since we still have this knot of corps up here. I'm wondering, do I rail line up to... How's Fredericksburg under their control? How? Let's rail up to Fredericksburg. At least Manassas is still under our control. Still have the Army of the Peninsula here to worry about, and I can't believe it's still repairing. We've held Fortress Monroe for a while. I'm surprised it's still repairing. And we got to besiege the fort. Would have been nice if we didn't have to. Are you done retreating finally? I'm not going to do what I said I was going to do with them. Let's get you back to Cairo. Then we're going to march them overland over here to Paducah. And then we can march them down to Columbus, take the rail lines back around again to Corinth. Because we're just bypassing all these forts. We're not bothering with the forts at all. We don't need them. And we're looking down here in Texas. Yep, about to flip totally to our control. Then we head for Beaumont. I mean, their morale is broken, but not that big of a deal. Problem is, we are losing control of Georgia. All the gains we made in Georgia, we have lost control of it. Except for Atlanta. We still hold Atlanta. It looks like McCown's on his way there now. So a lot of our gains have been lost, mostly because we had to reform Buell's army, and he's put himself in a position I don't like. So we got Smith's Corps to deal with. They got corps kind of spread out all over the place, so do we, but they have more corps than we do. Turning the engineers into a combat corps has helped. We didn't even get the alert that the siege is underway. They moved the junior reserves into the fort. Probably won't win this siege, but we're going to try it anyway. What is the condition of your ships? 98 and 100%. That's fine. Still have this. Nothing we can do about that fleet. What we're going to do is you guys are going to come out. Let's avoid Fort Hatteras. And then come up the river take on Fort Thompson, which has a garrison of 5. Man, they have garrisoned the hell out of a bunch of these forts. They have gone fully defensive. Same with the frigate squadron. Let's pull you guys out. I didn't even check the condition of those ships. 90s to 100, that's fine. So the monitor's going to go after Fort Thompson. And I'm going to have the frigates take on Fort Macon. All right, we have made it to Knoxville. As soon as we take Knoxville, head back down to Chattanooga, and then we're going to push them. It looks like we lost sight of the rebel corps here in the Appalachia Valley. They might be gone, since we don't see them. We don't have scouting turned on either. That's not helping. But, yeah, we're going to push on down to Chattanooga. Hopefully not get stuck on the damn river. I am so worried about getting stuck on this damn river here. Yeah, too many things happening on the map. I'll just be stuck recording a map for forever if I keep going, so I'll be back. All right, it's now June 19th. We do have our next engagement here. While the grunts were headed north, the Army of Washington followed up and somehow, their headquarters unit somehow got past our corps. Don't know how, but we caught up to the corps at the Army headquarters at Fredericksburg, but none of his corps are nearby. Department of Richmond's 11 hours away, and the 3 corps from his army are 13 to 15 hours away, respectively. So, at least one of the corps are probably going to be on the field when we arrive. Don't know which one. And it's already late in the day. That could be why we're doing this, because they can arrive on an overnight. One corps will definitely be on the field. So we got to try and knock that out quickly before the rest arrive. That's what I'm thinking. Let's jump on in. Welcome, my grunts, to the Battle of Fredericksburg. So the computer's cheating a little bit. 3 of the corps are on the field, with 1 more arriving in the hour. It's now 1800. The day ends at 2000. So we got 2 hours before end of day. It's a meeting engagement. And the objective point is Orange Plank Road. But we'll call it the Stansbury House because the Orange Plank Road is this entire length of road here. So we'll call it the Stansbury House is the objective, which is behind Telegraph Hill or north of. The rebels are coming in from Orange Plank Road here and here. And I didn't go over the numbers at the start of the fight, but there's only a 600-man difference between our 1 corps and these 4 corps combined. So, even this corps is very under strength still, even after the reinforcements we gave them, because the Gordonsville fight was pretty bloody. So, I'm not expecting them. Hopefully they stay for the overnight and we get to fight them tomorrow. But I'm half expecting an overnight withdrawal from the rebels, but we'll see. All right, it's now 1950. We do have rebel lines sided up. We're 8 minutes away from the end of the day, so the lines we see now may not be there in the morning. My cavalry's probably not even going to be here on the hill where they are now. Come the mornings, we're pretty far out ahead of our main lines. Next thing coming up is the 1st New York Engineers, followed by the Irish Division, with the Reapers behind them. And the Whiskey Vikings bringing up the rears. They're the lowest strength unit. And then the artillery is going to be following up behind them once they're finally out on the road. We started out in a really rough spot, 'cause this is all marsh right here. The guys had to traverse to get on the road and then up onto the road. So it took a little longer to get everybody underway than I initially thought it would. I'm not really sure if the rebels are going to hang out or not. Their morale is not good. They're at 36 right now. They're being plussed up by 8 points for holding the objective. So they may stay for the overnight, but some of their units, when I looked at them, looked like they're already ready to break, and the battle hasn't even started yet. So these guys are still recovering from the last fight, like the Palmettos, the Washington Artillery. I think I saw the Gooklins. Yeah, they're getting ready to break too. And these are all regimental size, but 300 men, 350 men, 450, 800. These brigades are regimental sized. End of the day, they're not taking the overnight withdrawal. Okay. Let's see, where'd my troops end up? Oh, my cavalry's still out where they were. We have control of that point there. I'm not going to touch anybody else. We're just going to keep everybody marching the way they are and see what the lines look like. Okay, they straighten their lines out, which actually works out better for me. It gives me more room to maneuver. And quite honestly, I think we're just going to push straight into them. Nothing crazy. I got the Irish and the Reapers heading for Mary's Heights right now to come up the hill on Orange Plank Road. And I have the Whiskey Vikings heading out to Stansbury Hill to come in along this road here. So I think we're going to deploy in the woods right along this road here. Going to be rough terrain getting there. And then we're just going to push in. And just push in hard. Because they're not going to stand. I don't think they're going to be able to. Even though we're comparable in numbers. I lost 99 men overnight from people running away. They lost 450. It's now showing them at 20,000 men. I don't think that number is accurate. So that's a plus up of several thousand from my initial reports. So it was just easier to keep these guys moving from where they were than to redeploy and then redeploy again. Let's get my artillery up here. Oh, and that's all mountainous roads too. I doubt they'll be up for any type of fighting. But they're on the same roads as the infantry, so no chance of them clogging each other up. So I'll be back once I'm ready to begin this attack. All right, it's now 11:30 in the morning. It's taken me half the day to get my troops in position, but we're finally in position. As you can see here, the rebels are pretty tightly packed right in front of us out in the open. They didn't even bother trying to set up entrenchments overnight. But it's taking me a while, but we're finally in position, and we're going to be launching our main attack on the left with the Irish Division and the Reapers, with another attack coming in on the right from the Whiskey Vikings. So they have the furthest to go, so we're going to launch them first. Actually, I should just move them up a bit more onto the road here. Actually, let's bring them over more. This way we have a full frontal attack here straight across into those lines. I was thinking about swinging them this way, but I don't think it'll probably keep most of our rifles out of the fight, and I want as many rifles in this fight as possible. So, wait for these guys to get in position, then I'll come back in again. All right, it's now a little after 12, and I'm ready to launch this attack now. So what we're going to do is advance the forward divisions up to the line of where the skirmishers are. That's the only way we're going to be able to shove them in. I do not want to get into a long-range combat with these skirmishers. So we're going to advance straight up to where their line is. You see my 3 brigades are... Why would you do that? Oh, come on. It's an advance order. Do not use the road. You guys are going to be coming in at an oblique, but that's fine.
Don't aim, just shoot and move.
Basically doing a Pickett's charge here.
Sarge, I'm scared. Anytime now, men. Move. I'll cover.
Forward, my boys, forward. And I am bringing the batteries forward one at a time, just getting them into better firing positions. That one's about in position, so I'm going to send Thor's hammer even further forward up to this house. And we'll put the Artie Party on the other side. What's with that shift? Once again, a lot of these units are armed with Whitworths, so they have us heavily outranged. Another reason I do not want to get into a long-range fight with their skirmishers. Might get Riley's up to level 3 sharpshooter this battle, finally. I don't know why their brigade shifted the way it did. It's messing up the line of advance. Casualties, but I want these corps gone. Who's wounded? Mars wounded. Forward. That's it. Push those skirmishers in. Right there, and we can't see them, which is absolute BS. They're right in front of us. We are knocking them down. harder in here than I really thought they were. It's going to be one bloody battle. My Cold Harbor, it looks like. It's BS, we totally lost sight of these guys. That's it. Let's start rolling this flank up. Just start advancing. Not quite in position yet, but screw. Start going. Losses. 150 men of 100. 300. And it's still standing. Push through. Hey, we'll probably see them again. There's VMI. That's the New York State Militia flag. That's fine. Lay back down. You guys are 50% casualties. Holy crap. Mostly because we can't see these damn units. Oh, this is a bloody damn fight. Can't get a major victory if our casualties are over 16%. It's definitely my Cold Harbor. Not losing it, but with casualties. Get at them, boys. right on them. They walked onto them. They couldn't even see. You gotta be kidding me. Look at that. They just disappeared from view and we're right on top of them. Oh, that's absolute BS. They didn't surrender. I don't think anybody's surrendered. 35th broken. Some of these brigades should be surrendering. They should be whipped out, but they're not surrendering. Of course they're not. And when you can't get the major victory because their casualties are way too high. Whoa! I mean, really high. Holy crap. Yeah, I definitely pulled a Grant in this battle. All right, we took down 5,300 of their 19,000 infantry, 450 or 1,050 cavalry. No guns because they had no guns. Total loss is 6,000 of their 20,000 men, which is 3,000 men more than we were told they had at the start of the fight. We lost 3,686 of our 16,447 infantry, 3 of our 687 cavalry, 0 of our guns, amazingly. Total loss of 3,695 of our 17,600 men. So both of our casualties on both sides were well over 20%. Whew. Oh, and Sully of the Swimu Brigade became wounded. When the hell did that happen? Then again, they took... When did they get up to 50% casualties? Holy crap. But they got their third flag now, and Swimus actually have their own flag. There it is. Anybody else before I close out of this fight? Because the numbers are low, they're going to lose experience points. If I don't do it now. It's the end of the campaign, and guys are just finally starting to get their battle flags. All right. Let's go through the battle reports. All right, engineers did not fight. Whiskey Viking Division. These numbers are not going to be pretty, boys. These numbers are not going to be pretty. Stockbrokers did 410 to infantry, captured 69, 75 to cavalry for total 555. Swimu Brigade did 478 to infantry, captured 28, 205 to cavalry for total 713. 20th New York did 326 to infantry, captured 98, 33 to cavalry for total 457. Losses. Stockbrokers, 57 dead, 296 wounded, 48 missing, total 401. Aggregate strength, 651, 38% casualties. Swimus, 83 dead, 450 wounded, 86 missing, total 619. Aggregate strength, 778, 44% casualty. 20th New York, 29 dead, 86 wounded, 14 missing, total 129. Aggregate strength, 1,183, 10% casualties. 30% casualties for the divisions, now pared down to 2,612 men. And Colonel Sully was wounded of the Swimu Brigade. None of my division commanders were wounded. Okay. Irish Division. Riley's Irish did 737 to infantry, 51 to cavalry for a total of 788. Whiskey Worshippers did 759 to infantry, captured 18, 7 artillery for a total of 784. Irish Brigade did 765 to infantry. Losses: Riley's 94 dead, 485 wounded, 101 missing for a total of 680. Aggregate strength 720, 49% casualties. Whiskey Worshippers 105 dead, 497 wounded, 76 missing, total 678. Aggregate strength 1,551, 30% casualties. Irish Brigade 94 dead, 605 wounded, 92 missing, total 791. Aggregate strength 1,821, 30% casualties. 2,149 for the division, 34% losses. And General Marr of the Irish Brigade was wounded. Reaper Division. Verdans did 170 to infantry, 34 to cavalry for total 209. Reaper Rifles, 183 to infantry, captured 17 for total 200. 35th Infantry, 118 to infantry, captured 12 for total 130. Losses: Verdans, 9 dead, 66 wounded, 14 missing, total of 89. Aggregate strength 1,012, 8% casualties. Reaper Rifles, 9 dead, 52 wounded, 35 missing, total 96. Aggregate strength 1,470, 6% casualties. 35th Infantry, 14 dead, 121 wounded, 33 missing, total 168. Aggregate strength 2,101, 7% casualties. 353 for the division, 7% losses. And they lost no commanders wounded. Gotcha Guard. Nuggets did not fight. Artie Party did 9 infantry, 2 to cavalry for a total of 13. I know they took losses would have been overnight attrition. Nuggets lost 3 overnight. Artie Party lost 1 overnight. First Artie Division, Lead Breakfast did 64 to infantry, plussed up to 68, caught some command staff. Whiskey Kegs did 27 to infantry. Thor's Hammer did 66 to infantry, 3 to cavalry. Total 73, so they got plussed up by hitting. They must have hit a bunch of command staff out there. And their losses would have been overnight attrition. Yep. Lead Breakfast lost 1 man, Whiskey's lost 3, and Thor's lost 1. All right, let's see if we got any of the rebel officers. Wounded Iverson of the 7th Missouri State Guard. And wounded Drayton. We wounded Walthall, the 1st Alabama. Wounded Mahone of the Gooklin Light Dragoons. Wounded McIntosh, McIntosh's brigade. Notice they're down to brigades. They don't even have divisions anymore. And we got 5 of their officers. Well, that was Department of Washington. Department of Richmond, get any of theirs? No. And we got 5 of their officers. That was one bloody fight, but, you know, like I said, I just pulled a grant on that one, and this is definitely my Cold Harbor victory. Oof. I'll get closed out of here, and I'll see you all at the newspaper screen. Victory at Fredericksburg. Wouldn't call it much of one, but definitely the bloodiest battle of the war. The Battle of Fredericksburg has ended with the Army of Washington retreating in panic. The Ensign reported suffered total casualties of 5,776 men. There are 651 killed, 1,741 captured. Our casualties totaled 3,696 men, with 494 dead, 544 missing, and the rest are wounded. We've captured 2,500 rifles and 0 guns from the field and sent 1,556 men off to our vacation camps. It looks like they blame the loss on General Stewart, and I have no idea why. All right, before we roll this battle off, we got some officer replacements to do. Oh, Engineer Corps in that. Let's go to Tradoc. Open up from there. All right, Mar, you got to get replaced. We got from New York. Patrick Kelly, he's back, so you're going to get command of the Irish Brigade. And it was Sully was wounded, Minnesota Territory. I don't think we have any officers from the Minnesota Territory. Oh, we do. Who's up? We got M.O. Munch and Willis Gorman. Veteran and a politician. Since he's a veteran, he's going to get command. Gorman, you're taking the Sweemoos. Yeah, I figured that battle would have drug us into the red, but we're still in the orange. Let's get this one rolled off. Hopefully this gets them moving south. I'm hoping. But we just did a map update, so I'll be back with the next incident. It's already towards the end of the month, so we're going to keep this episode rolling. I'm guessing it's just going to be as long as the last episode at this point. All right, it's now June 21st, and we do have our next engagement here, but I am going to end this episode here because I think we're getting close to the 2.5, 3 hour mark at this point. And I don't want to make this episode as long as the last episode. So we will be ending this episode here. We'll be opening up with this battle, looks like at Fayettville, Arkansas, with the Army of the Tennessee and Fry's Corps, Army of the West. So once again, if you're a new viewer, returning viewer, you're not yet subscribed, please think about hitting that subscribe button. If you do, remember that bell icon so your next video comes out. You're following along in the series and enjoying it, don't forget to bayonet that like button and butt stroke that comment section. And I will see you all at the next episode. Stay grumpy.